frá Glasgow. Við skulum tjalda í grænum berjamó. Leitum í vínum í lundin frá í gær. Lindin þar niðar og virkir Ísland grær. Leikur í ljósum, lokkum og ángandi rósum. Leikur í ljósum, lokkum hinn vakandi blær. Perlur glitra dalinn færist róm. Draumar þess rætast sem gistir Glasgow og klæð rauðu skíni á kræki lengislag. Kyrrðin fríðandi, mild og angurvær. Og leikur í ljósum, lokkum og angandi rósum. Leikur í ljósum, lokkum hinn vakandi blær. Leikur í ljósum, lokkum og ángandi rósum. Leikur í ljósum, lokkum hinn vakandi blær.
Gracias por estar escuchando. Thank you for listening. Together we can. Juntos Podemos. My name is Caprice. Y este lunes tenemos una gran presentación con nuestro director ejecutivo de Junta for Progressive Action aquí ubicado en New Haven. And we have with us today a very special presentation with the executive director of Junta for Progressive Action, a nonprofit here in New Haven. And before we begin, that song, we may not understand the words because I sure don't. It's a complete foreign language to me. I speak Spanish, English, a little bit of French, and I can't tell where that's from, so I think it's Russian. It's Russian to me. And the musician, his name is Kaleo, Kleo. And for the listeners, you can actually go onto our Facebook page, www.La Voz Hispana CT, and you can actually, and that's also the Facebook page, website, lavozhispanaCTradio.com. and in Facebook, and you can watch the video. Y para los que nos estaban escuchando, ese artista se llama Kaleo, y yo no sé de qué país es, pero sonaba ruso para mí porque yo no entiendo el idioma. Y pueden ver las letras, la traducción en español en la página de Facebook que tenemos hoy en día. Y para mí es una canción, un recordatorio de un tiempo de donde esta persona creció, una memoria de una tierra de donde tal vez su país natal, donde ya no está ubicado. Y uno siente con los instrumentos ese, ¿cómo se dice en español cuando uno quisiera estar ahí? Aleno, no. ¿Cómo se dice?
Alejano, no.
Sí, algo así. Como
Sí.
Pues ese sentido de que uno todavía tiene parte del alma en otro sitio. Y las palabras hablan, ahí se pueden ver las letras en español, pero es una poesía tan bella que por favor abren la página de Facebook para leer la traducción de esa linda canción y para poder encontrar en el futuro más sobre este artista. Yo creo que la canción, no lo voy a pronunciar bien, se llama Bagla Shore, algo así. And so for those who want to know more about the artist, we have the Spanish translation available on Facebook. And without even knowing what the words say, you feel that longing.
Mm-hmm.
So someone is singing about most likely where they were born. And it's this longing for this land that they're no longer with. But their soul is still there. Part of their soul is still there. And you could just feel it in the music. And actually, I'm going to tell the truth. I didn't know what the words meant until I just watched the Facebook feed with the video.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, that matched with what I was feeling.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I've been listening to this for a few weeks now, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. So the lyrics in English were, the night belongs to us. Let's go to where the world is green. Come with me to yesterday's forest. A burst of fragrant roses and curly lights in the sky. A breeze, tranquil valley where dreams come true. A place with quietness and peace, sweet melancholy. Those were words, maybe not necessarily in the flow that he stated them, but those are the words that I picked up. And so much of what Junta does is really give a home here in New Haven to many families that left a piece of their souls in another land. And when you have the strong nostalgia, there's a reason why you left, even though you have people that you love, even though you have memories of a sweet land that promised things, but unfortunately, for too many, those dreams were living nightmares. And it wasn't viable to stay, and it wasn't viable to make your dreams come true when it could often have meant staying and facing death.
Mm-hmm.
And so that song, I think it's like a tribute to all immigrants. This was an immigrant from, I think, Eastern Europe somewhere. And it's like an homage to that land of dreams. But he's not there anymore. There must be a reason. There must be a story. And there's so much going on in the U.S. press that criminalizes and dehumanizes immigrants who are not from Eastern Europe. I read something today, someone said, yes, immigrants from Ireland are getting deported, immigrants from other places of Europe are getting deported as well. But there's a big difference. There isn't the dehumanization and criminalization that's taking place on people who are not black and brown. And so this country with racism, embedded racism, and on top of it, utilizing immigration law to criminalize and hurt and harm and remove people who are black and brown from this country, it's increased. exponentially the number of deportations and negative impacts on even children.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And over at Junta, for those of you who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about Junta?
Sure. So Junta is it's the oldest Latinx multi-service agency in the city, and we have a long history of working with. I think that all Latinos are part of a diaspora, so we've all come from all over the place, except for maybe a lot of Mexicanos because they were here first. So we really are focused on really uniting our communities and really thinking about how we collectively can advance forward and how we can do that within the fabric of New Haven and within the fabric of Connecticut. And so that's really where we've been focused. I think a lot of our work right now, sadly is about shielding and doing as much as we can to tone down the madness coming from the media and the madness coming from the White House, because it's designed to scare. And it's designed to mobilize our families, and if we don't step up and if we don't stand proud with our families, we will allow that to take hold of all of us. And it's not just immigrants; it's all of us.
It's all of us, and it's beautiful to understand that we're all in it together, which is the premise of the show. Together we can. Juntos Podemos.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of whether people are immigrants or not, and in the case of many of our Puerto Rican families coming from Puerto Rico, they're U.S. citizens.
Yes.
They're not necessarily immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they're challenged with finding themselves and having to learn and operate in the professional world in English, where Spanish is most likely their first language, and having to acclimate into a different way, a different society, not to mention winter's coming around. And so, Junta, you help families on all of these areas. So winter's coming.
Yes.
What does that mean for what Junta does for the community?
Sure. So, winter is coming, and it can be very concerning.
It's not just on HBO.
No, exactly. No, a lot of what we're doing now is we're like collecting coats, and we can take in winter wear for children and for adults, and we have been over the course of the year, and so we're getting ready to make sure that our families know that those resources are available. We additionally, we're trying to make sure that the holidays are going to be wonderful and festive for our families. We just were reached out by I believe it's an accounting firm that's going to be giving out turkeys, and they've selected Junta to identify about 300 families. So we're really excited about that.
That's so
I know it's un festivo muy americano, pero también al mismo tiempo todo el mundo quiere festejar en acción de gracia, tener una cena muy buena y todo. And so we're excited about that.
Junta también provee diferentes artículos para familias, especialmente ahora con el invierno, van a tener abrigos.
Sí, guantes, bufandas, así.
Increíble. Entonces, si uno es parte de la comunidad y necesita asistencia, ¿cómo pueden adquirir esa asistencia conjunta y qué tipo de asistencia?
Sí, pues.
If one is from the community, what kind of resources does Junta offer?
So we have, our social services department, which really focuses on connecting people to resources. In that department is our immigration services as well. So we're really trying to take a very holistic approach to addressing the immigration issue, understanding that doesn't occur in isolation. So the case management team is really kind of enveloping our families in a whole way. And so what we're trying to do is to one, address some of those immigration issues. Unfortunately, the climate is that there's not a whole lot that can be done in many ways. So it's really about sustaining and supporting our families until we see what happens next year. But, if there is a case, we have pro bono attorneys that are working with us to help represent folks. We do a little bit on deportation proceedings as well. But what we're really trying to do is and then folks who've recently arrived or may not necessarily be as fluent in English, we're working to create, we have our ESL classes, which have open enrollment. You can come to Junta at any time, Monday through Thursday. We're open 9 to 5. You can send us an email at info@juntainc.org. You can contact us on Facebook. I think the best thing and the worst thing is that I get all those emails, so I respond quickly. And I ask the staff to respond quickly. So, I feel like it's important that we're here for each other. And so, and sometimes those things can't wait. So, so we work on that. We're just getting ready to start our Spanish GED in January. So something we've worked really hard to kind of get back up off the ground.
So important.
Yeah.
And I'll translate shortly, and I'd also love to know how can people volunteer or provide support, whether it's additional winter coats or gifts for Christmas for the kids. Y en español, gracias de nuevo, Daniel Reyes, por estar aquí con nosotros. Y los recursos que Junta tiene disponible para la comunidad son comprensivos, sabiendo de que hay muchas veces el estatus inmigratorio impacta la habilidad, capacidad de familias a obtener recursos y encontrar trabajo, mantener la familia estable, y Junta aporta recursos en todas esas áreas impactadas por el estatus inmigratorio. Entonces, cuando uno está buscando servicios, también ven cómo pueden ayudar, asistir con la situación inmigratoria, pero lamentablemente no hay muchas opciones en este momento, en este clima político que se encuentra el país. Y los servicios están abiertos. ¿Qué días otra vez?
Lunes a viernes, 9 hasta las 5. Y la verdad es que lunes a jueves, lunes a jueves. Y en viernes es solamente por cita, solamente, pero... entonces la gente puede pasar y tenemos una calculadora comprensiva que puede evaluar cuáles son los servicios que las familias están elegibles. Y ayudamos a conectar la gente a todos los servicios y a asegurar que si una familia y una persona es elegible, nosotros vamos a conseguir esos servicios para ellos o esos recursos. Entonces, y por las otras cosas, como tenemos una despensa popular una vez al mes, es el tercer sábado del mes, 11 hasta las 12. En el parqueo de estacionamiento de John Martinez School en James Street. Pero de cualquier cosa, todo el mundo pueden comunicar con nosotros con el correo electrónico info@juntainc, juntainc.org, o pueden comunicar con nosotros, como la mayoría de la gente comunican con nosotros desde nuestra página de Facebook, y de cualquier manera nosotros respondemos lo más pronto que podemos.
Y para los quienes no tienen un lapicero para escribir esa información, pueden buscarnos de nuevo en La Voz Hispana CT en la página de Facebook, y ahí tenemos escrito en la pantalla la dirección de Junta para que cualquier cosa pueden mandar preguntas o si necesitan buscar recursos. Y ahora que viene el invierno, va a ser un tiempo difícil.
Sí.
With winter coming, the transition from where people are coming from a lot, from warmer climates, and it could get really depressing. For some of us who grew up here, it could still be a bit depressing.
Yeah.
And even more so for families who are traveling from afar without this being part of their cultural norm. And talking about culture, there is this theory called la cultura cura. Research has been done in the world of psychology and therapy and family well-being and child development. And it was like 20 years ago when this term was coined, la cultura cura, which means culture cures. And the song that we heard earlier today, that longing for the place where one was born, being able to maintain some of the cultural norms, ideally the positive cultural norms aspects, help someone's mental health and well-being, feeling like someone belongs somewhere, not feeling like a stranger in a strange land and isolated and alone. And so when we find that people, whether they come from down south in North Carolina or they come from even further south, Mexico, being able to maintain some level of cultural heritage and traditions is actually good for the well-being of that person, for their family. And Junta, to me, is also this flagship in Connecticut. It's the oldest, is it not?
Yeah.
In Connecticut,
yes.
that says we honor also the Latino cultural heritage. There's some common threads regardless of where one comes from, including Puerto Rico or Mexico or Guatemala. And it's a place where people feel that they belong. And I personally think that the more we feel we belong on this earth, the more welcoming we are of other cultures.
Exactly.
If we know where we stand, we are more welcoming of other cultures. And you're not Puerto Rican, you're not Guatemalan. What is your cultural heritage?
So I was born in Mexico, in Coahuila, but I came to...
Where is that in
it's in the north near Nuevo León.
Oh, wow.
I always tell people Coahuila, like, where? Pero llegué a los Estados Unidos con solamente 6 meses. Entonces...
Pero hablaste muy bien el inglés a los 6 meses.
Sí. No, pero, the truth is that, when I came to the U.S. back in there, my family went to Chicago, and in Chicago, it's like it was very racist, and so like Latinos were very much be as American as possible. And so our parents taught us. So that's really like the very Chicano experience where you are very Mexicano, but at the same time, you don't have your language. And as a result, you've lost a part of your culture. And so, I think I'm part of an entire generation that has really kind of worked to reclaim that and to understand that all of those things are integral to who we are.
Yes.
I actually think personally, it's just so wonderful that we don't have to, it's obviously it's not perfect, but we have communities where people can live completely bilingual lives and bicultural lives and flourish without the fear of retribution. It's not perfect. There's still things happen and still people say crazy things and you think, what are you thinking? But,
sí, y sos un gran ejemplo de la cultura cura. De ahí estabas hablando de que en Chicago, donde creciste, aunque naciste en México, muchos mexicanos viviendo en Chicago perdieron su idioma.
Sí.
Y de esa manera también uno pierde los lazos con la cultura natal.
Sí.
Pero obviamente hablas muy bien en el español y de perfección en inglés. Y es un gran éxito. Yo creo que para nuestros padres, aunque de vez en cuando destruyo el español,
sí. Sí.
Es un gran éxito para los padres que nos enseñaron que mantener un sentido de identidad es importante porque en este país hay mucho racismo y si uno deja que la sociedad le define a uno termina perdiendo. Uh-huh. Porque lamentablemente viviendo en un país, ahora especialmente están diciendo en las noticias, latinos son criminales, son tal cosa, venden drogas, son narcos, lo que sea. Y uno mismo tiene que definir quién es uno. Y especialmente sabiendo que vengo de una línea bien, bien larga, una historia bien, bien rica uh-huh. de latinos que hemos hecho maravillas para este mundo.
Sí, sí, tenemos que ponernos en pie, de estar muy fuerte y de estar muy orgulloso de nuestras herencias y de celebrar que nos unen y las diferencias tenemos que celebrar esos también. Y por eso para mí tengo 2 hijos gemelos que son 2 años. Ay, y su primer lengua ahora es español.
Muy bien.
Porque lo que pasa es que pues ellos obviamente ellos van a aprender inglés, pero yo quiero que mis hijos tienen sus herencias latinas aquí porque es importante.
Uh-huh. And that's so beautiful. You just shared that you have 2 twin boys and their first language is Spanish and they're 2 years old.
Yes.
And my mom would say, school's going to take care of them learning English. And that's one thing that when you realize is we shouldn't be afraid of the other. People who are different. Learning a second or third language as a child actually helps the brain become like a sponge where even mathematical equations are easier to acquire, to understand.
Exactly.
And so being bilingual, my little niece, she's in pre-K, 3 years old. And her school is here in New Haven Public School teaching Chinese.
Oh, wow.
I think it's Mandarin, English and Spanish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
so you
That's
would love
great.
to check out.
I know.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yes.
Right? Que hay una escuela pública acá en New Haven que enseñan a los niños. Mi sobrina de 3 años va a aprender, yo creo que va a ser mandarín, un idioma del país de China, y español e inglés.
Wow, increíble.
Sí.
Eso es muy bueno porque lo que pasa es que tenemos que entender que no estamos aislados. Los Estados Unidos no es el centro del universo.
No.
Y somos parte de un mundo entero y tenemos que celebrar y abrazar todos.
Sí, y para saber más que un idioma es una herramienta muy grande para tener éxito en esta vida, especialmente aquí en los Estados Unidos. Entonces, por favor, gente, ayuden a los niños a mantener su primer idioma, segundo idioma y tal vez explorar un tercer idioma.
Sí.
Y ya vamos a regresar después de esta pausa con Daniel Reyes. We'll be right back after this pause with Daniel Reyes, Executive Director of Junta.
Hola compas, los invitamos a escuchar La Voz del Inmigrante todos los miércoles de 3 a 4 de la tarde, aquí en la 103.5 FM, La Voz Hispana Radio, a través del Facebook Live, La Voz Hispana Connecticut, también en Twitter y en YouTube y en la página web de La Voz Hispana.
Ellos tienen el poder y lo van a perder. Tienen el poder y lo van a
Escúchenos y entérese de lo que pasa con la comunidad migrante del estado de Connecticut.
Si nos educamos, nos organizamos. Si nos organizamos, luchamos. Y si luchamos, ganamos.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
Prepárense para obtener su licencia de conducir en Connecticut. Ahora en New Haven, preparamos a personas indocumentadas y documentadas. Las clases son de 8 horas obligatorias por el Departamento de Motores y Vehículos. Y estas clases incluyen drogas y alcohol y técnicas para manejar de manera segura. Estas clases también incluyen un manual para el estudio para pasar el examen escrito y 100 preguntas que posiblemente estén en el examen. ¿Por qué? Porque a nosotros nos interesa que usted pase el examen a la primera vez que lo tome. 51 de Elm Street, Suite 307, tercer piso, New Haven, Connecticut, código postal 06510. El número de teléfono 203-376-0864 o el 203-907-0361. Las clases son miércoles y jueves. Estamos certificados por el Departamento de Motores y Vehículos DMV del estado de Connecticut. Ahora es el tiempo y el momento.
En aras de poner fin a los desechos, te presentamos TerraCycle. Este es tu mundo verde. TerraCycle es una empresa que ha logrado convencer a grandes nombres para sumarse a una iniciativa de envases reutilizables. La prueba de fuego está con los consumidores. Una de sus metas actuales es reciclar lo que no es reciclable. Desde cápsulas de café, bolígrafos o guantes de plástico de un laboratorio, TerraCycle recoge y recicla prácticamente cualquier tipo de residuo. La empresa se asocia con recolectores individuales, así como compañías productoras, tiendas, fabricantes, administradores y pequeños negocios en 20 países, desarrollando una alta gama de programas de reciclaje y de educación en el tema. Marisabel Houston, CNN, Atlanta.
Transmite en su canal de frecuencia modulada estereofónica multiplex La Voz Radio desde New Haven, Connecticut al mundo.
Gracias por estar con nosotros hoy, cada lunes entre las 3 y 4. Juntos Podemos, Together We Can. Mi nombre es Caprice y hoy tenemos con nosotros Daniel Reyes, director ejecutivo de Junta for Progressive Action. Thank you for being with us today. My name is Caprice and Together We Can, Juntos Podemos. You can catch us live at Facebook, La Voz Hispana CT. And we were talking about Junta for Progressive Action and the amazing work and important work that it's doing. And there's not enough, I think, support. We've heard 10 years ago how the Latino population would one day be majority, but I don't think that's an important fact. The important fact is until we as a society learn to embrace everyone, including African Americans, including people from Asia, including from Latin America, we will not succeed as a collective society. We will not, even at a basic level, have enough people being able to have jobs that pay enough taxes to sustain, the trash pickup, things that we think of basic quality of life. It depends on all of us succeeding. And Junta is a specialist on the success of the Latino community. It can also and has supported other populations, and the specialty is for the Latino community. Es bien importante saber que tenemos una organización como Junta que provee servicios a la comunidad latina para el éxito de la comunidad latina, pero en fin, el éxito de la comunidad latina es el éxito para todos también. Hoy en día tenemos más o menos 46% de los alumnos en las escuelas públicas de New Haven, del distrito de New Haven, son latinos. Y lamentablemente sabemos también que nomás hay una persona encargada de las escuelas públicas en New Haven, de la junta directiva de las escuelas, que es latina. Mm-hmm. Es decir, es lamentable que faltamos voz y voto en algo tan importante, en crear póliza que impacta todos los días a los estudiantes en los salones de clase. And it's really sad that we have not kept up with the times, meaning, for example, there are 46% of New Haven Public School students who are Latino within the district schools here in New Haven, and yet only one person on the Board of Education is Latino. Mm-hmm. And so, in your perspective, how does that put us at a disadvantage or not, having the lack of representation on such an important policy body?
I really do think it's, I feel as though we're failing our community, and local government is failing our communities here. I feel as, I don't know if it's because of politics or it's just plain lack of knowledge, but it just should make obvious sense that the leadership making decisions for the district should be reflective of the communities that they are serving. I mean, that's one of the things that, I guess I take it a little bit more personally because I've spent so much time in my professional life being the person of color in a nonprofit administration that served communities of color. And so to think and knowing where there's so much dysfunction there, that we're dealing with our children, with our next generation of leaders, and we're about to fail them.
And so, playing what they say, the devil's advocate, what difference would it make? I'm a person of color. I care about all children. What difference does it make that I am not, let's say 46% were Chinese children. I am a Latina. I can speak on behalf of all children, including all immigrant children, and if I'm that one Board of Ed person and 46% of the children are Chinese, what difference does it make if in my heart I care about all children?
I mean, yes, of course. I mean, and I don't think that anybody sitting on the board does not care about our children, but I do think that we are sending a very clear message to our children and to our families when the leaders are not reflective of their communities. And, what does it say that there is an absence of representation on the Board of Education? I do think that, the mayor has sent a strong message, and I don't think it's a positive one, and I'm very disappointed. I think there was an opportunity. Obviously, there's a vacancy, and this is why this issue has come up. But there was an opportunity to ensure not even parity, because it still would not be reflective of the population, because it would still put us at only 28% of the representation on the board, which is not even close to 46%. So it is an opportunity to select. There are many qualified leaders, who can think about things in a culturally and linguistically appropriate manner. That it's not intrinsically, it's not built into the DNA of someone who's not a Latino, And I'm not saying that they don't know, but what I am saying is that we owe it to our communities to make sure that leaders reflect us.
Mm-hmm. And it goes to show. Before this impromptu coalition of Latinos formed called the Latino Council showed up, who else was bringing up the fact that 46% of the student body currently are Latino? Who else is bringing up questions on the Board of Education even? How many Latinos are in advanced placement courses? How many Latinos in the percentage at Wilbur Cross, where a majority of Latino high school children go to high school at Wilbur Cross? How many of them are actually taking advantage of New Haven Promise? In the high school that is deemed as the Latino, is it the majority of them or not even half of them? We need to be vigilant around accountability of the school and how effective it is in teaching Latino children.
Yeah.
Anyone ask about how many are in adult education, moved out of high schools and say, oh, you're having a tough time here. You're getting beat up, which was happening to a group of recent immigrant children in one of the New Haven public schools. I won't name it. And they were getting beat up, and which then deters them from school success. And it was mainly a racial tension. There were newcomers coming in, and they were getting attacked, and they were asking to get moved to another school that could be more welcoming. And how many of those children ended up graduating? How many get moved out into adult ed, breaking it down by Latino boys? There's a large percentage of Latino boys that are encouraged to move to adult education. Historically, for over 30 years, that's been the case for New Haven, and it hasn't changed.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it starts at the Board of Education, but the issue goes at all levels. I have had conversations with folks on the Latino Council, and, it's a bitter pill to know that the only level within the school where there's actual parity of representation is in the custodial staff at the board. So, and I do know that people within the school district understand that there is a challenge, and it's not just with Latinos, it's with all communities of color, and making sure that there's equal representation. But just saying, yes, we know we have the problem is not where it ends. That's just the beginning of the conversation. And I don't think this is a new conversation. And so I do think that the time for addressing this has come. And, I think that from the mayor's office to the Board of Alders to the Board of Education, all the way down, there's some accountability on what has been happening.
And I love what you said. It involves all children. There's a huge lack of people of color who are the actual teachers in the classroom.
Yes.
The lack of black male teachers who teachers can be that role model that will allow for a child to believe I can do anything I set my heart to. And the lack of role models for all black and brown children in classrooms. The majority of the teachers currently are white women. I applaud them for sacrificing what they do on behalf of and supporting children, and we need role models for our children as well in the classroom. And there are school pipelines that have been tested to try to increase people of color in school districts here in Connecticut. But those pipelines, if you were not independently, economically able to sustain yourself while you're going through this fellowship, teacher internship, there was no way that you could literally access it because you had to have another job.
Exactly.
And time-wise, it didn't fit. So that there are ways that the system could get fixed, but if we're not at the table to share those ideas, there's not much that can happen. Y por eso es bien importante, sabiendo de que hay más estudiantes latinos, no hay suficiente maestros que son latinos o afroamericanos, personas que entienden cómo es ser de una familia trabajadora, pero no con ingresos ilimitados, y cuáles son las realidades de las familias y cómo las escuelas pueden trabajar mejor con nuestras familias. Porque si no entienden que alguien tiene dos trabajos, no solo uno, cómo hay que cambiar la manera en que uno involucra a los padres siendo parte del sistema.
Sí.
El sistema tiene que cambiar para la realidad de ciertas familias, porque si no, no va a haber colaboración. No se puede trabajar juntos porque elimina la presencia de familias, especialmente trabajadoras latinas.
Sí.
Y por eso también los padres tienen que averiguar qué es lo que está pasando en el sistema público, porque no es suficiente mandar a sus hijos a estudiar. Yo una vez fui a visitar, era maestra temporaria para otro distrito al lado de New Haven. Tenían los estudiantes recién llegados para aprender inglés en un closet. Ese era el salón de clase. Era un closet, no era un cuarto tamaño de closet. Era un closet, sin ventana, era una puerta. Ahí tenían 3 computadoras y el estudiante se pasaba todo el día jugando en la computadora. Y yo lo miraba cuando estaba tomando agua y yo le pregunté, ¿qué haces ahí todo el día? Jugando en la computadora.
Ay.
Y yo le dije, te apuesto que tus padres trabajan fuerte para tu futuro, sin saber que no estás aprendiendo nada.
Sí. Y la cosa más peor es que eso es demasiado común.
Sí.
Es demasiado común. Y yo entiendo que los distritos faltan recursos, pero eso no es una excusa. Nosotros podemos entender la situación, pero eso no va a aliviar o no puede excusar lo que está pasando. Y la verdad es que porque no hay representación en los líderes, la gente no... Y sí, entienden, están diciendo que estamos encargados del cuidado de todos los niños y por eso no podemos hacer todo por todos, pero la verdad es ellos son nuestros futuros. Tenemos que hacer todo para todos.
Yes, the children are our future, and we have to figure out how we can best serve the children of this world. Every child counts.
Yes.
And so it's time that those voices are at the table and everyone is included in this.
Yeah.
And so there are children who go to your location at Junta for after-school programming,
Yes.
as well as summer programming. Can you say a little bit more?
So our after-school program, I'm very happy to say, has almost tripled its size since I've started. 75 children.
Wow.
I am committed to that program. It's... And I'm committed to making it free. So that is the other thing. It is expensive, but I do believe that our families need that support. And the teachers there are providing academic support. We have artistic outlets. The children are provided a snack. And I'm really aggressively working to fundraise so that we can begin taking field trips and we can have more family engagement nights. But now we have up to 75 children. I'm hoping we can reach 100. So every time we get a little bit more money, for our after school program, I let the coordinator know we need to add another teacher, we need to add another tutor. Let's do this.
And what grades?
So we see children. Well, technically, we see children 5 to 11 or 12, but we don't break up siblings. So a veces si hay hermanos que son 3 o 14, they stay with us, so they can stay. Sometimes they help out a little bit. We also have a Girl Scouts troop that works in tandem with our program. So they all one day out of the week they work with the older girls. So we're trying to create a very robust program que es gratis para las familias, porque la verdad es que las familias necesitan esa forma de ayuda y de apoyo.
Entonces, ofrecen como tutoría, tiempo de arte para los estudiantes.
Sí, y ayudamos con la tarea hay 3 maestras que son en las escuelas, son de las escuelas y maestras latinas que ellas también pueden trabajar una a una a los niños que necesitan un poco más de ayuda, y tenemos un core de interns de University of New Haven y Southern Connecticut que ayudan a los estudiantes también.
Ah, qué bonito.
Sí.
Entonces aumentaron ya 75 este año nomás, y también están tratando de recordar fondos para experiencia de aprendizaje, como saliendo a lugares y aprender de esa manera. Qué bonito.
Sí.
¿Y cómo es que uno puede donar? ¿O qué tipo de ayuda necesitan ahora?
Pues si alguien quiere donar, pueden pasar a nuestro sitio de red, que es juntainc.org, pero también si una persona tiene tiempo y puede ser voluntario, siempre necesitamos voluntarios para ayudar con la programación de los niños, o a veces tenemos talleres por la noche de inmigración o sobre servicios económicos, y entonces la gente puede ser voluntarios así. Nuestro gerente de la oficina, Leticia Cruz, está encargado de los voluntarios, y ella puede hablar sobre todas las oportunidades. Se llama Leticia LETICIA.cruz @juntainc.org, o también el info en Junta Inc. está bien también, pero eso es una manera porque no todo es dinero. La verdad es que hay un gran valor en la presencia de nuestras comunidades, ayudando, apoyando cada uno de nosotros.
¿Y van a hacer la celebración de 3 Reyes también?
Sí, de 3 Reyes, sí, vamos a tener una fiesta. En el mes pues en un par de semanas vamos a anunciar que vamos a tener como un toy drive para juguetes, y en el 6 de enero vamos a tener una fiesta, pero eso es para todas nuestras familias. Entonces, el año pasado hicimos por la primera vez, pues este año lo hicimos por la primera vez y fue un gran éxito, y entonces y eso lo hicimos con 2 días de planear.
Increíble.
Entonces yo le dije, pues, ¿sabes qué podemos hacer si tenemos unos meses de planear? Pero sí, vamos a tener roscas y va a ser increíble.
Eso está muy bonito, porque en verdad tenemos pocas ocasiones para reunirnos en comunidad y celebrar nuestra herencia, y gracias por Junta por existir, y gracias por toda la labor que haces todos los días, porque lamentablemente la necesidad está aumentando, estamos aumentando números en población, pero no en recursos, que va a la dirección. Y como dijiste, es importante la presencia de las personas más que el dinero muchas veces, pero también se necesita eso.
Sí,
and so thank you for all the hard work that you do on behalf of the community, on behalf of everyone in the community, Latino or not Latino, immigrant or not immigrant, and for the voice that you bring into the room. It's so important, and there must be something in the water growing up in Chicago. Because one of my favorite heroes former Congressman Luis Vicente Gutierrez from Chicago. He was voted in as an elected official at a city level at first. That was his political career. And folks in Chicago believed in him. And he, all the way in New Haven, I heard of him. And I felt that he was a champion of all, around social justice for all. Not just Latinos, not just for immigrants, but he brought in to the room and policy decisions to make sure that everyone is treated as a human being, including LGBTQ community, including women's rights, including Black and Latino coalition building. He felt we needed to work together as a community. We're living in the same neighborhoods, we're going to the same schools, and the issues that we're facing, we need to face them together. And so he's a big champion. He will be here in New Haven for free November 18th on a Monday from 5:30 to 9 p.m. He's traveling the country, still working on national policy. He's always been an organizer at heart. We hope to be able to interview him as well, but people who are interested in registering can call 203-974-1645, and we're going to talk with him about what's next for Latinos after Trump. And the phone number to register is 203-974-1645. Y le está diciendo a Daniel de que debe de ver algo en el agua de Chicago, porque tenemos aquí Daniel Reyes, director ejecutivo de Junta, lanzando la voz, apoyando a la comunidad latina, apoyando a nuestros jóvenes, los niños y a todos en nuestra comunidad, no solamente latinos. Y también otro de Chicago, el congresista anterior, Luis Vicente Gutiérrez, un gran campeón para las causas que impacta a la comunidad, especialmente a la comunidad latina, la comunidad afroamericana, incluyendo derechos humanos para todos, incluyendo los quienes se identifican como homosexuales. Y de ahí vamos a tenerlo aquí en New Haven.
Sí.
Se pueden registrar de gratis 203, llamando 203-974-1645 para registrarse. Y va a haber una recepción con comida después. Y no sé si tienes algún mensaje que quieres compartir con la comunidad antes que terminamos.
Sí, la única cosa que quiero decir es que Junta está aquí para todos y nuestra casa está abierta a todo el mundo.
Muy bien. Pues thank you for that beautiful message and welcoming everyone to Junta. It is a gem, and we are so proud of being able to still have Junta around. Thanks to your hard work. And donations are not growing at the same level as the need, the same rate, and so every little bit counts. Yes. And you said sometimes it's just the human touch that is the greatest charity, but I know that you also, as a nonprofit, need support with funds. So just thank you for all that you do. And I just have to say, you're always so stylish, so personable, and I don't know when you have time with your two beautiful twin children. So on behalf of your family, thank you for the time that you spent with the community.
Thank you.
Pues gracias por estar con nosotros y hasta el próximo lunes. Esperamos tener una gran sorpresa, pero vamos a ver si logramos tener con nosotros el congresista anterior, Luis Vicente Gutiérrez, en vivo en La Voz Hispana Radio. Hasta el próximo lunes y que estén bien. And so we hope to have a surprise. We hope to have former Congressman Luis Vicente Gutierrez on the show with us. So hopefully it'll all work out for next Monday. So stay tuned.
I know.
Kontideronkan åren var Glasgow. Vi skulle tälta i grenen färgamor. Lete mig vinen i Lunden, Frau Iger.